communication heavy. Really try to simplify even more and make a few adjustments for tomorrow. So I think it's a combination of factors. Certainly one of the biggest factors is Minnesota's a heck of a team. They play with so much pace, so much speed. They are really tight with their actions, and they know where they're going with their counters, and it's a tough game.
Yes, Sonia, you've talked a lot about integration and players coming in and out of the lineups. What, with the compressed schedule, how do you go about that? About a player like Emma, or playing without JJ for a month, or without Stewie for a couple of weeks? How do you go about those adjustments with limited practice time?
I think as much as you can, you're trying to keep them ready behind the scenes if they're with us and they're injured. Obviously, Emma wasn't with us before, so Drew's done a really good job of sitting down with her and watching as much film as possible with her. She's a sponge, and she's such a high IQ basketball player, so it really just takes exposing her to everything we're doing for her to just process it and kind of retain it, which is a luxury that we have in training a player like her. And then, it's these opportunities, these settings, practices, shoot-arounds, where we have our full team together to be able to script, to be able to, even if it's just walking through some actions defensively, to get on the same page and really get that tight.
What did you notice in terms of maybe what was lacking offensively on some of the freelance possessions, I guess if you want to call them, where the shot clock would wind down and maybe you weren't getting good shots? Just in those situations where a set play is not called, what would you have liked to see more of?
Yeah, I think we weren't as intentional as we could have been, I think, with who was in some of the actions. But of course, when you're in flow, sometimes you're just sort of running your lanes and kind of operating with a two-player action, try to create an advantage and maintain an advantage. We can be a little bit better with our screening angles, how we come out of it, roll a little bit more, and then obviously they collapse a lot in the paint. So then being able to read from there.
Coach,
So,
go ahead.
when JJ was out, we talked a lot about a lot of the little things that she would do to impact the offense. It wasn't just the rebounding, it wasn't just the scoring. When it comes to Stewie, what are some of those little things that she does that completely changes the ways that this offense performs?
Stewie's a Swiss Army knife on both ends. So I think you're going to see it on the offensive end. I mean, you saw her running the point a good amount before she was injured, and so you'll see her as a handler. You'll see her being able to be in some of these screening actions, handling with an inverted screen, the guard coming up. A lot of the on-ball things we do as well, like her ability to read. If she's got the ball in her hands and we're running some sort of off-ball action, understanding where the ball goes next. And I think she just keeps the ball moving really well. Just a 0.5 way of playing that just really starts to move us offensively and just kind of keep the ball popping. Defensively, she's everywhere. Her length, her activity, her IQ on the defensive end, and understanding these teams really well. I mean, she knows Minnesota inside and out, for example, right? So she knows where that action might be going next. She can anticipate really well and knows where to be next. And I think she can cover up. Of course, mistakes are going to happen. These breakdowns that are happening. I think she does a really good job of covering for those situations.
Coach, considering all the newcomers and friendly faces returning from injury, how is this team well positioned to take advantage of the larger schedule?
I'm not sure if I follow that question.
No, basically, there's a longer schedule. 44 games.
Yeah.
We talked endlessly, it feels, about, the lack of off days, the back-to-backs, but with newcomers like Emma and Steph, and
just having more games to be able to
integrate.
Sure, we're glad. We're glad we have a bunch more games to go before we hit playoffs. I think there's a lot of work for us to accomplish in this short amount of time. And so we're certainly welcoming that aspect of it. That's a silver lining of this schedule. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I wasn't sure where you're going with that.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Does the team openly speak about, securing that second seed, or is it just mostly about health and peaking at the right time at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's process. It's all over the process, right? We just want to be playing the best basketball we can be playing when we get to the playoffs, and that's not a switch that we're going to flip on that day. Like, it's going to happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be these incremental gains that we're trying to make, and that's really our primary focus right now. It's on us and how we can be the best versions of ourselves we can be.
Even, obviously, talk about Stewie. Without Stewie, where have you noticed some growth offensively from, I guess, some of the players that have had to step up?
I mean, I think you've seen like Marine's playmaking quite a bit with increased opportunity with the ball in her hands, as you know, as I mentioned, to be playing a little bit more of a handler before she was out, and she's been able to do that. Obviously, we've really leaned on Sabrina and Tosh, and I think they've done a really good job of guiding us in that lead guard role, both of them. But you know, it takes a collective effort when you lose a player like Stewart. So it's a little bit of everybody doing a lot of different things. Having KB back is huge for us. You know, she fills a little bit of that void as well.
How impressed